I've been married for 15 years, and my husband has a severe gambling problem, which also includes him being extremely sneaky and lying a lot. And he's really financially devastated us, destroyed my credit, and I'm just tired of it, and I'm over it, and I need to know if I'm being irrational wanting to get out of this marriage, and I also don't know how to move forward with doing it, affordability-wise. It's a hard situation. We have a 10-year-old child with special needs, so I'm just kind of looking to see if I'm thinking I'm on the right track and making the right decision.
No. I mean, you have a partner who's making you incredibly unsafe in a bunch of different ways. And so that's that. Again, I take a broad view of fidelity, right? And that is not being a person of fidelity. That's a person who is refusing to get help for a pretty traumatic, trauma is overused, I think, but a devastating, as you said, to use your words, a devastating struggle with addiction that is not just a personal thing. He's destroying you. He's destroying the path ahead for your special needs kid. He's destroying all the trust, all that stuff. So no, I don't think you're crazy at all. I don't think you're crazy at all. I do think this is the scary reality that women in your situation face often is there's a math problem to solve here, right?
Right. That's my biggest hurdle is the math problem. The little that I do get for contribution from him.
Wait. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Well, it means, I pay the majority. I pay our rent. I pay my own bills, my own car payment, my own, any credit card bills. And
so you're already on your own.
Right, but he does pay for, our weekly food shopping and pays our utilities, and I wouldn't be able to sustain all of that on my own income. And we're still behind in utilities because half of his paycheck every week disappears to, I don't know, he has a new story every week, and obviously I know where it's going. But the little help I do get, I just can't do it all on my own I financially can't do it all.
Sure. So I think this is me. I'm just going to talk to you just direct. Normally I would talk to you for a lot longer and get some more context here, but I'm going to be pretty direct. Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. The thought of I'm out, like I'm over it, I'm done, right? Yep. There's a sense that I'm going to separate from this and get on with my life. I just need to figure out this $500 gap or this $700 gap. Whenever you leave a 15-year marriage, you have to understand I am leveling the ground of the life I know. What does that mean? Okay. That means for the safety of me and my child, we may have to go to a one-bedroom apartment for the next 4 years. Mm-hmm. We may have to fill in the blank. He may have to go to a different school, your child, or she may have to stop seeing the 3 different professionals and go to a different sort of care. Like it's about leveling from the floor, not I live in this house, I drive this car, I have these types of insurances, we have this type of support, and I just need a gap financially. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. Yep.
So when you talk about leaving a 15-year marriage, especially with somebody who's not well and who gaslights you out of your mind about how they're not well and is willing to take you and your special needs child down, you have to understand I am wiping the deck on the life as I know it.
Right.
And I have to reverse engineer reality here.
Right.
And you may be in a situation where you're living in a house where your mortgage is less than rent. That may be the case. But maybe not. It's just a matter of we're going to have to sell a house. We're going to have to possibly move. I might have to get a new job. It's all of that stuff. So tell me where you are financially.
Yep. So we did own a house at one point, but we sold our home because we needed to move to a different part of the state so we could get my daughter into the right schooling. Okay. So we now do rent, and our rent is unfortunately significantly higher than our mortgage was because we did this during COVID and things were just kind of crazy and insane.
Sure.
So, our rent is higher. He doesn't have a car currently because his second car was just repossessed a couple weeks ago. The first one I was a co-signer on. So I have an issue with, we've been established in our apartment for a few years now, and I no longer have the credit to be able to apply somewhere else for a new apartment, or even the money to, do a first and last somewhere. So I feel stuck in that regard. And I also, even if I do get a little bit of money from him from child support, I don't even have the money to file court fees for divorce and child support and custody and things like that. So it's like I can't even legally move forward because I'm so strapped with money issues.
Would he fight you on a divorce?
No, I don't think so.
If he won't fight you, there's a way to do it very inexpensively.
Okay.
I mean, I have several colleagues who have gotten divorced. They shook hands. It was like $400, but they didn't. They didn't fight each other. They went down to the court. They downloaded some papers online, filled them out, shook hands, and just called it. They acted like adults in the separation.
Okay.
I would be stunned if he let you walk away like that because you're his gravy train. Right. Maybe he will. Or maybe his shame is so overwhelming that he just needs somebody to stop the boat, right? Mm. And maybe he'd let you go. But if he would, there's ways to do it very, very inexpensively. Okay. There's also community resources, and I don't know them off the top of my head in Boston, but I would research those community resources. And there's millions of women who get trapped, and I make just enough money to pay my rent and to get my kid over to school, but I don't make enough money to qualify for some of these programs. You're going to have to just figure that math out for yourself. Yeah. Yep. Do you have family connections there in your area? I do. Okay. I'm close with my family. Okay. It may be for 6 months or a year, I got to move in with family. Right. And that is awful. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And not even because family's great, but it just uproots everything. What type of special needs does your child have? My daughter is deaf, and she's on the autism spectrum. Okay. How? What's her? I'm trying to use a non-nerd word here. How social is she? She's very social. Okay. Very social. Okay. All right. So she gets around and can make her way. Okay. All right. What is her ability to grasp social situations? Could you talk to her about what's going on? I don't think she would quite understand that. We do communicate via sign language, sure. But I feel like there is a little bit of a language barrier. Okay. Her school is very good at helping communicate when if a family member passes away, they've been good in the past, helping communicate these types of things. So I'm sure I can get assistance. So if you got some support, just somebody to sit with you while you said, hey, we're moving into Uncle Joey's house or Grandma's house for a while. We're going to have a fun adventure, and it's going to be different and new. And Dad's really sick, and so he's going to go get some help that he needs. Like, how old is this kid? My daughter's 10. Okay, yeah, so it's varying degrees, and I'll let you be the expert on your child, obviously, and get some support. But, it's that. And if you haven't already, I would freeze my credit. I have. Okay, great. So nobody can take out anything against you anymore. And then it's just about looking at your credit report and seeing what kind of mess you have. And it's a mess. Tell me how much of a mess. How much in the hole are you? Well, my bills in my name are good and up to date, but probably outside of my car payment, I probably have about $10,000 in credit card debt overall, and then I have a $3,000 a month rent. But I have a repossession from my husband's car being repossessed, and just things that have been late. But the part of the problem is that my husband for many, many years was a 1099 employee and never filed taxes appropriately. And now we owe about $65,000 to the IRS. And I'm very afraid that my check is my paycheck's going to be garnished at some point because it's so many years old. And I don't even know where to begin with that, which is completely separate, but it's just all cumulative. All of it's building up between him spending all this money on bookies and online gambling and everything else. Okay, I need you to do something for me that's going to be very, very hard, okay? Mm-hmm. I want you, and this is going to sound nuts, and we're going to come back to this in a year. Okay. Every second you spend going back, being angry and enraged that this man you married has blown your life up so much is an ounce of energy you're not using to move forward and save yourself and your child. Okay. So the more energy or discussions you have about what he did with bookies and all of this and the repossession, you have a serious crisis on your hands. Let's just get to solving the crisis.
Yep.
And there's part of you that's going to have the grief about the failed marriage. Part of you is going to have the grief about this man that instead of being a husband who lifted his family up and took care of his family has absolutely thrown an anchor around your neck and dropped you in the middle of the ocean, right? All that will come in waves, but we're going to, for the next year, do the best we can to get out of this crisis.
Okay. That's what I need to do.
How much do you owe? I mean, how much do you make?
I make my salary is close to $75,000 a year from my individual. Combined, we make about $150 on paper.
Okay, we're going to go 75.
Okay,
and you're going to look at that number, and it's going to be half of what the fantasy has been for a long time, and we're going to be pissed off about that, and then we're going to go move forward. Okay.
Okay.
I am super great. It relieves me that you make $75K.
Okay.
And that you have family support. Okay?
Yes.
That's pretty awesome. It is not awesome that you might have to call your mom or your father or one of your sisters and say, I got to move in for a year.
Right.
And I'll pay you $1,000, and that's going to free up $2,000 for you.
Yes.
And a buddy of mine actually one time sat down and called 10 apartment complexes in a major metropolitan city with a credit score of 0, and 9 out of 10 of them accepted him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so there's this fallacy that you have to have, he did have to have first month in all of them, and I think first and last in several. So it might take you several months of paying mom $1,000 a month, and your mom might say, absolutely not, you're not paying me anything. Who knows? But I'm going to take that $2,000 and I'm going to scratch and claw, or I'm going to take $1,500 of that, and I'm going to save up this money so that I can get first and last month's rent. And I'm going to knock on doors at a safe apartment complex in 6 months or in a year. And then I'm going to hook you up with a tax pros, okay? So I work at a place called Ramsey Solutions, and they've got relationships with tax pros in your area. So you can go to ramseysolutions.com/tax. And I want you to put your zip code in there, and they'll send you several tax professionals, and I want you to reach out to one of them.
Okay.
Or reach out to all of them and interview them. They work for you, okay?
Okay.
And they're going to be able to walk you through exactly, hey, you're not liable for this, or you are liable for this, or we're going to file this, or whatever, okay?
Okay.
And that might be $500. It might be $5,000. $5,000 against $75,000 of wage garnishment plus penalties is worth that every second, right?
Every second.
All day long. And so let's solve this problem in order of importance.
Okay.
Importance number 1, you have to find a place to live.
Yep.
Number 2, you have to make sure you've got food and your child has food.
Right.
Number 3, you got to keep your transportation because you got to get to and from work, right? So we're going to go down to, you have to have water and electricity. We're going to cover those 4 walls. Then we're going to deal with ego. Then we're going to deal with pride. You make $75,000. How old are you?
I am 46.
46-year-olds making $75,000 should not be living with their parents, and yet here we are.
Right.
There's some ego there. There's some frustration. There's some anger. All that's great, but we're going to go do the next right thing in order of importance. Okay. We're going to sit down with husband and say, I'm leaving. I'm moving out because that's the decision I've made. By the way, I can't be held responsible for you deciding to end your marriage. Okay.
Right. I know.
I'm assuming you're down that road. I can hear it. You're done.
I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Okay. So you could print off the papers, you could fill them out, and you could hand them to them.
Okay.
If there's retirement accounts out there that are $400,000 and you're like, you're not walking away with all that, whatever. I bet if you're in the house of a gambler, there's no money left anywhere, right?
No, there really isn't.
Okay.
I have a very small 401k that unfortunately I've taken loans against to try to cover rent in the past and whatnot. So, I mean, maximum $20,000 maybe. Okay.
So I want you to also be honest about, I'm going to send you Financial Peace University. It's an online course.
Okay.
It's got I want you to watch it start to finish, okay?
Okay.
And what it's going to do, it's going to empower you like you haven't been empowered before.
Okay.
Okay? Because it feels like the wall is crashing down. A lot of that is rage. A lot of that is anger. You make $75K.
Yep.
and you have family support, that puts you way ahead of a lot of folks. Not going to be easy, but it's put you way ahead, okay?
Right.
If you're struggling with gambling, I'm getting this call over and over and over and over again. Make today be the day you call somebody. You got to go to meetings. You got to put some significant hurdles in front of yourself, and you got to get well from this catastrophic addiction. It's destroying everybody. Go get the help that you need.